It is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It's Monday, September 22nd. Everybody loves Mondays. Happy fall. It is 2025 AD. The first day of fall per whatever, per the fall equinox, whatever, equinox, shenanigans. And I will be getting to your calls and your super chats. I appreciate them. I saw some come in. Shout out to, what's his name? That would be Mike from Canada, who gave me a coffee. Thank you, sir. And shout out to Pastor Chatelet rating the stream. Well, I love your hake. Yeah, I mean, I love your shirt, hake. Thank you, Wednesday's nobody. Holy moly. Thank you. Yeah, I almost changed it. It's a Jimmy Buffett shirt. It says M. Medrano. I wasn't familiar with, I mean, I've heard of Jimmy Buffett, of course, I guess, sort of. Not that I know much. But nice. Sweet. Here, let me turn that down. We're showing beach vibes. Not just beach vibes, but beach video. And I'm wearing a sort of a Hawaiian type of a shirt, I guess. It may not just be a sort of a Hawaiian type of a shirt. It may be a full-blown Hawaiian shirt. I don't know. Am I seeing artifacts? Am I seeing... Never mind. It's just the video. I mean the stream quality. The views expressed on this show do not represent the views of this station. They do not even represent hake. Hake does not represent hake. Okay? And so take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. This show is for general information and entertainment only, all right? It's not gospel. Even the gospel you misinterpret, so which makes you think that you're not misinterpreting hake, you misinterpreters. Shout out. And even if, and I may misinterpret reality too, so I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, it's sort of a funny little thing going on, but nice. It's like an odd, I wonder if it's just my bad, oh, well, I'm not playing it on my laptop. Yeah. Look. Yeah, okay, nice. So anyway, we're gonna have a fun show, everybody, if you please, and if you don't please. So nice, thank you, Chirp Alerter 5000. Thanks for the la sticker, D Live crew, you redheaded stepchildren, much neglected. That's cool. By the way, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not gonna say it. Let's see. Yeah, nice. I'm not gonna say it. For once, I'm going to keep something to myself. But, nice. I also don't disclose. Oh, by the way, today, big news, before I get going. Trump spoke at, as you know, Charlie Kirk's memorial thing at the stadium, Glendale, Arizona. Not to be confused with Glendale, California, right over here. Shout out to the Armenians in Glendale, California, but Glendale, Arizona. And he said that today, if he hasn't already, in the Oval Office, he and Bobby Kennedy, that's RFK Jr., and others, and Charlie would have loved this, Charlie Kirk, the late, great Charlie Kirk. They're going to talk about the Schmax scenes and this thing that I am I don't know if that's a word or the correct use of it, to even mention. It's like, can he talk about that? Can he say that? I'm so used to getting censored, Wikipedia, actually notes underneath or Google notes, right? Underneath my YouTube videos and stuff like that, and censored and strikes and banned and stuff like that over Schmax scenes and schmautism. Whoa! Making me nervous, Trump. He's a boomer, a base boomer who doesn't care and doesn't know about that stuff. He doesn't know or care about YouTube censorship. Other than that, he's on Rumble, I guess. So, wow, he's going to talk about that thing. He said it used to be 1 in 10,000, this thing that all the young kids seem to have nowadays. Some people claim that Hake has it. Look at me grunting going up these steps. It's not even steps. Going up these rocks. It used to be 1 in 10,000. Now it's like 1 in 12 for boys. And I didn't know that girls got autism too, but it's supposedly 1 in 20 for girls. That's what they say, huh? Oh yeah, Greta Thunberg. And she is a woman, okay? There's nobody out there saying Greta was really a, I'm not even gonna say it. You conspiracy theorists. So exciting stuff, gonna be happening. I wonder if Trump will get censored, the president of the United States and his HHS secretary. I'm so used to the people who are in control being so censoring stuff. And I don't know what the truth is about these brain issues and shots and things like that. I don't know what the truth is. I've never made any claims about it. I have expressed occasional questions, of course, and distrust and dislike of needles, mainly. No, I'm tough. I can handle needles. Needle me up, but only with righteously. So, very interesting. Gives me butterflies in my stomach. All right, anyway, I'll take your calls, like I already said. So, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey,
oh, it's the
guys!
Hake Report.
Oh, late. Terrible.
La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I am fine. Don't you love these cliffs? You probably don't love these frames dropping. I don't love that on the Hake Report thingamajigger. But that's just what happens when you stream your video on video. So I would like to share with you a little bit of wisdom. I even have the laugh in my notes. Some wisdom for you guys. Because I was arguing, as you may know, for too long with Ronnie about criminals. And my solution, it's more of a representative solution than the real solution, is to defund single mothers. And it's of course, obviously, nothing against single mothers. If I love anybody, we love single mothers, or I do, if I love anybody. But he said that reading is the answer, not defunding single mothers. He claimed that 40%, Ronnie from Ohio claimed that 40% a mere 40% of criminals in prison, purported convicts anyway, not that they're actual criminals, but they're convicts, in prison, grew up with single mothers or a single parent, according to some statistic that he came across. The commonly stated number was 80%, but that may be wrong. It may actually be 40%. I don't know. You know, people like to try to downplay the role of the family. And as JLP rightly points out, and I've always known this, because I came from a supposedly outwardly functional household, where, a shout out to my parents, where the father and mother married and Christian and decent and lots of siblings. And so, and I didn't turn out criminal. I thought about stealing one time, but I didn't go through with it. I'm kind of glad I didn't. But anyway, it wasn't me thinking that. It was the devil. And that was at a place where it was a block down from the church I used to attend. But anyway, that's just a surface thing too, because the father could be weak, the mother could be evil, the parents be evil, and the kids messed up. And that happens all the time as well, of course. And even sometimes they become violent criminals, the kind that go to prison, rather than just spiritual criminals, spiritual murderers, hateful people, which is everybody. So anyway, the wisdom is, it's not the reading that makes you not criminal, because he said 70% or something like that of prisoners can't read above a 4th grade level. So if you get them reading above a 4th grade level, and reading at a 4th grade level is pretty much fine. It's just the big words that you don't necessarily know, or you can't really follow along to something that's supposedly a little bit harder to read. Mostly you can understand the King James Version Bible, I think, although there's some stuff that's even I can't understand. Or do I read above a 4th grade level? But I think it's the thing. It's just like the poverty causes crime mess. Poverty doesn't cause crime. Crime causes poverty, but it's not actually the crime that causes the poverty, because not every poor person is a criminal or a victim of criminals or lives in a place that's been victimized by criminals and brought the property values down. It's also the same weakness that causes you not to be able to read well and not to be able to save your money and spend wisely and work conscientiously and earn money and stuff. It's the same weakness that makes some of them turn into criminals that go to jail. Right? Right. And I've noticed that there is this hyper focus among the communists and black Americans. Well, I'm just saying black Americans so as not to say blacks, because it's all over the world, on not the spiritual, but the intellectual and the material, money, this notion of stable home life, anything to get away from actual father and mother being Christian and decent, or at least decent. And not just money, but education. We got to get education. And you focus on that, but you have young people whose talent, especially boys, whose talent is not sitting still in a classroom and reading proficiently all the time. If you're pushing that down their throats, they're going to get frustrated. This is girly stuff, because girls can sit still better than boys, I think, maybe, at a younger age, because they have less testosterone. I don't know what it is, but boys can be wild sometimes. And hyper, they call it. And so you force them to read. They don't want to read. They don't like reading. And then they're not good at it. So they get frustrated because they have this anger in them. And so they give up even worse than they normally would had they just had patience. And the people pushing this on them had patience, patiently pressed it on them, rather than impatiently pressed it on them, living in impatient homes and ungracious homes and shallow, get an education homes rather than just be a decent young man homes. They get frustrated. They're not good at it. So they give up too quickly. Here's an example of giving up too quickly or not giving up too quickly. I saw this on this bodybuilder channel. If you get successful at something, it makes you want to do it more. That's why you see a lot of these blacks. They may not be smart, but they're gym rats. Like, oh, what's his name? Floyd Mayweather Jr. They make fun of him saying he can barely read. But actually, he's very good. He has a high fighter IQ. He doesn't get hit, right? Something like that. So anyway, here, let me play this, and it's these two guys, and part of it gets graphic. I want you to gloss over that, right? Keep your eyes in the upper part of the screen because this guy is showing something about some plastic surgery or something. But this is from that Jewish guy I like, and then this big guy called the Mountain or whatever his name is. I don't know.
I had like
Oh Lord, terrible. Let me crank it a little bit.
plastic surgery on my back and all that. Folks rightfully have
Oh, good. He might cuss a little bit. Sorry, kids.
accused me of having like, you know, body dysmorphia and shit.
Oops, sorry, kids. I forgot that he cussed. But anyway, hopefully he doesn't cuss too much
I
more.
always say like, I know that I'm
Cover
really
your ears, kids.
jacked. I just want to be more jacked.
Right.
Like, you know,
See, he said, I know that I'm really
you're
jacked.
strong.
I just want to be really more
But
jacked.
you're trying to get
Stronger,
stronger. Does that mean you have strong orexia? No, you just want more.
It's so correct because like when I had nothing when I was younger, I wasn't unhappier, but
This guy, as you can hear in his voice, he's huge.
now I have a lot more and I'm not necessarily much happier. This proves the point, like you're always seeking more, you always want more, no matter where you're at in life. At least those that wanna be better.
Some people don't. Some people are just good with regular shit.
Spoop.
I had like,
So interesting, huh? Interesting. I found that interesting because, oh,
plastic surgery.
okay. Anyway, so that guy's talking about once he got a little success in his exercise, he wanted more, because these guys found success in their exercise. They got strong looking, kind of like Hake, only maybe even a little bit bigger, but fairly comparable. And so because they had the success, they wanted more. But you don't get success, or you don't try, and you get easily discouraged and you just give up. That's what's happening with those people who are, Hake has bigger arms. At least this screen, I already closed the thing. Anyway. Whatever. Nice. And it was also funny because that guy, is that guy called the Mountain, that really big guy? Not sure. He said he's still not happy. He's still not, or at least much happier. Yeah, but that's for sure. Right on. What's up, Max Rex? Nice to see you, man. Hey. So, I just wanted to point that out. It's a fact, Jack. Stop pushing stuff on people that it's not their talent, such as reading. That's for Ronnie in Ohio. So, bodybuilding parallel. Success makes you want to keep at it. That's just how it works. I don't greet women. I'm kidding around, ladies. I'm live on BitChute of all places. What's up, Mr. Zoe? Just a little bit of shout outs to the people over here. I'm live on multiple platforms. Thank you guys for joining me. What's up, Mike Merds? Piece in the puzzle. Okay, so that's that little tip. Here's another tip. Trump and Elon Musk, they like each other again. And I heard that this is what Charlie Kirk wanted. Somebody said that he really wanted them to come together again and be happy, like each other again. And here it is on threads.com from Daily Wire. Here they are. President Trump and Elon Musk shaking hands at Charlie Kirk's memorial service. Hey, there they are. Nice. Isn't that sweet? I don't know why it keeps on playing. All right, we get it. I'm gonna mute that. I don't understand Threads. I'm clicking. Threads is IG, okay? Oh, nice. I can unmute again. Yeah, so am I logged in? I wonder if I can. Darn, should I do it? I've already signed up. I'm Hake. And watch, it's gonna go away. See? Useless. I find that Meta it seems inferior to far left alphabet, Google. In some ways. Nice. So that's Trump and Elon Musk getting along again because supposedly they weren't. That's strong personalities, man. Successful people are strong personalities. Trump, Elon, shaking hands. I watched the whole thing of the Trump rally. I said Trump should lead in Turning Point. I watched his whole speech from NewsNation. And, yeah, so here he is talking. I found out a bunch of different things about Charlie Kirk that I didn't know. So let me plow through this for you guys. Because shout out to the late, great Charlie Kirk. And shout out to our greatest president, Trump. And then I will get, hopefully, to your calls and your super chats. All right, so here's our greatest president, Trump.
Walk across this track. But this is like an old-time revival, isn't it? An old-time revival.
He's referring to the memorial service, and like an old-time revival. You know, they used to fill the stadiums or something. I don't know.
For millions of Americans, especially young people, it is agonizing and unthinkable to say goodbye to a patriot whose heart still had so much to give. It's so much. Raised in the suburbs of Chicago, Charlie was filled with a patriotic spirit from his youth, and he was an all-American in everything he did. And one of the last things he said to me is, "Please, sir, save Chicago." We're going to do that. We're going to save Chicago from horrible crime.
Isn't that nice? Shout out to our greatest president, Trump.
In high school,
all right.
At Madison.
So he was a great athlete too, by the way. Did you know? Charlie Kirk, athletic. Let's see what he says here. I'm just clicking on my... I made a comment with and I put timestamps.
He set up a card table and put up a sign.
Okay, so he was at Madison College. It's a liberal college. And he made up a card table and put up a sign saying...
With 3 words.
Cover your ears, kids.
Words. Big government sucks. Can you believe that? That's Charlie.
Nice.
That day, Charlie talked to every student who approached him, most of whom were probably quite a bit older than he was.
Nice. Good job, Charlie Kirk. And that was when he was 18, and I think at that time, that's when he founded Turning Point USA. Anyway, so look at this guy who doesn't look amused. He's not giving out any fake smiles from Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr. And look, there's his liberal wife. And look, there's that former Democrat gal, the DNI, Director of National Intelligence. And look, there's Kash Patel, whom I like because he said, "I'll see you in Valhalla, Charlie." But here is our greatest president, Trump, talking about what? Oh, yeah, this is the part that made me nervous.
I think we found an answer.
Here. Let me go back a little bit.
I think that's right, make America healthy again. And tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest announcement, really.
By tomorrow, he means today, because this is Monday.
Medically, I think in the history of our country, we're going to
I'm scared to even play this.
Doing it with Bobby and
Bobby
Oz
Kennedy.
And all
hey, Dr. Oz.
The professionals. I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that?
Whoa,
autism tomorrow.
Whoa, I disclaim, Trump. I disclaim.
We're going to be talking in the Oval Office.
Isn't that kind of exciting?
The White House about autism.
Let me skip ahead.
How it He'd make
Here's talking about Charlie Kirk.
me feel very guilty. You never wanted to let Charlie down. He worked so hard. You just didn't want to let him down. I felt guilty. He'd make me feel very guilty. As president, many people asked me for things, but Charlie was one of the few who always gave more than he took.
Nice.
He was a giver, much more than a taker.
Right on, Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace.
And no matter how big Charlie became, no one was too small for him to notice. He was
All right.
good to everybody.
Yeah, good to everybody. Nice. Here's him talking about the, hearing about the shooting. He was in the Oval Office.
He was doing, think of it, fighting for our country. I will stay up as late as I need to, and I will.
He's quoting Charlie, saying he'll stay up as late as he needs to and get up as early as he needs to keep fighting for the country.
Never stop fighting for our country. And he did this until his dying breath. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. Think of it. Wow. What a horrible moment. I was in the Oval Office when I heard they came in, and it was like a surreal experience, a terrible, terrible. I had some very big people in the Oval Office, and I was in the midst of a very important conversation for our country. Big people, the biggest. And I said, you have to leave now. When they told me that, they told me in front of a group of very powerful people. I said, you have to leave now, right now, please.
Oops.
Right now. You have to leave, go.
Crazy.
By his own determination and skill, Charlie Kirk built Turning Point from...
All right.
And Charlie didn't just bring young people into the movement. All of a sudden, it started to grow by leaps and bounds. By 2024,
he said that they got more young people's vote than in a long time. Here's about 20 minutes or so. Let's see.
A staff member texted him that there were many critics and students who were opposed to his views.
This was the day of the shooting. Charlie Kirk got a text from one of his staff saying there's many people who are very vehemently opposed to him.
And rather strenuously in the crowd. And that actually made him feel good because he wanted to convince them. He understood. He really did. He understood what was right. And he was right about that. A lot of it was based on common sense, by the way.
Yep.
Charlie wrote back to the staff member saying, I'm not here to fight them. I want to know them and love them, and I want to reach them and try and lead them into a great way of life in our country. In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erika. But now Erika can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Nice.
Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone.
Let me skip ahead a little bit.
He always said the same thing.
Wait, what did he say? Saying I'm skipping just ahead just a little bit because I want to hear him talk about the vicious hate from the thugs.
Use me for your will. And that is exactly what God did. When you think, that's exactly what he did. The more success Charlie had, and he was getting more and more successful, the more dangerous his mission became. On campuses all over the country, his quest for open dialogue was met with menacing hate.
Facts.
There were bomb threats, pulled fire alarms, and countless rage-filled radicals who tried to shout him down. It was nasty.
Yep.
I used to say, Charlie, this is nasty stuff you're doing. At one event, police had to build barricades to protect students from an angry mob of thugs.
Yep.
Many of these people, by the way, are paid a lot of money to do this. They're agitators. They're paid agitators. Remember that? When you see they all have the same beautifully printed sign, Every sign is identical, comes out of a top-level
All right. He's talking about how these guys are getting paid. And what is
the DOJ, who those people are.
Comes largely from the left.
At another college, Antifa terrorists shattered windows, threw rocks, and tried to storm the building where Charlie was speaking. It was a really bad one.
It's crazy because, as Kevin rightly pointed out in the chat a few days ago, Charlie Kirk's just this normal guy. And who else? Ben Shapiro over here. Like, the Black Lives Matter was, like, rioting over Ben Shapiro speaking at Cal State LA. Little baby school. What a mess.
Colleges that had, in theory, only very liberal, or as they like to say, progressive. I call them liberal, but they like to call themselves, because such a beautiful word, progressive. They're the opposite of progressive, if you think about it.
That's right, Trump. But nice. Oh my gosh. Right around 26th, I disclaim this. Let me see if I can play it, though.
Second one, we had a phenomenal day.
He's talking about the election.
But a lot of bad things
I disclaim this,
happened.
but I like how he says it.
And now that's not even questioned. They cheated like dogs.
Whoa.
But we got them back, didn't we, huh?
Wow. He's talking about winning after losing, okay? He lost fair and square, I claim, for the sake of the channel, all right? But I'm amused by that Trump is sticking to his story that they call the big lie. But I don't think it's the big lie. I think they're big liars.
Moment he was overcome with
Here's Charlie, a story about Charlie. He was on air when Trump won in 2024.
emotion. I've never seen him like this. He was so happy. For a long while, he said nothing. His eyes were filled with tears, and then he buried his face in his hands, and he started crying. That wasn't the Charlie I knew, but in thinking about it, it actually was the Charlie I knew, because he had a tremendous heart. He just wanted what was good for our country, and he saw us going in such a horrible direction.
Yep.
Lovingly, Eric, and this was so beautiful, Erika put a MAGA hat on to cover his bowed head. I like that very much. MAGA, we love. Does everybody love MAGA? Make America great again.
That's right. Isn't that nice? His wife.
When Joe Biden used to get up, remember the speeches? We will stop MAGA. We will stop MAGA. You know, he could barely get the words out. We will stop. I said, can somebody inform him the MAGA means make America great again? How do you say you're going to stop it? That when Charlie finally looked up and spoke, he smiled through the watery eyes and simply said, I am humbled by God's grace. That was his statement that night. I was watching him.
The night that he won.
I was very
Trump won
impressed,
again.
actually.
Very nice. Shout out.
Not just an attack on one.
So this attack on Charlie Kirk, I almost said Charlie Trump, was an attack on America, says Trump.
Man or one movement.
Sorry, here, let me not interrupt it.
Excuses for it are just, and anyone who would make excuses for it are just out of their mind. Charlie's murder was not just an attack on one man or one movement. It was an attack on our entire nation.
That's right.
That was a horrible attack on the United States of America. It was.
So he's gonna give Charlie Kirk the highest civilian honor, the Medal of Freedom, and that's gonna be in D.C., which is very safe. He's talking about the D.C. cleanup in Memphis, and he's gonna clean up Chicago as Charlie Kirk requested, because Charlie Kirk is from the suburbs of that town. And and he said that 11 people got murdered in Chicago, and the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson, seems to be fine with that. Crazy.
His killing has been arrested and charged with capital murder. God willing, he will receive the full and ultimate punishment for his horrific crime. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's
because
not
you
good.
can't let that happen.
You can't let an assassination like that just happen.
You can't let that happen. Can't let it happen to a country. The Department of Justice is also investigating networks of radical left maniacs who fund, organize, fuel, and perpetrate.
All right. Right on Trump. He's talked about bringing religion back to America. He talked about how in Calgary, Canada, Korea, Berlin, Tel Aviv, Australia, people are coming back to church and supporting Charlie. Isn't that nice? And he had a big, cheerful heart. Fight, fight, fight. He changed history. Here is the last little bit, the end of this speech. It's a nice, touching moment with Erika. And he says that she's going to be leading TPUSA. Here it is.
Special, it's called Turning Point USA. And under the leadership and love of Erika, it will become bigger and better and stronger than ever before.
That's nice of you to say. Check this out. This is touching.
Children, God bless the United States of America.
This is the end.
Could I ask Erika, please come out? Erika, please come out. Thank you.
Hey, there's the widow. They're hugging. It's nice. What a Chad. And here he sings pretty soon here. Encouraging her. There's Charlie Kirk. She does that I love you hand signal that I learned about from you guys. It's not devil horns. And they start walking and he's...
Thank you very much, everybody.
And
Thank you very much, and good luck. God be with you. Thank you.
This last part is funny before Chris Cuomo steps in, or times in. Watch him. This part's funny. Yeah, we can stay there. Here's Trump. Hey.
Thank you for...
Thanks a lot. What's his name? That's the NewsNation thing where Chris Cuomo comes in all loud because he's from NewsNation, no longer CNN. Thank you for watching NewsNation, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, sir. Here, let me mute. Pretty cool, huh? I thought that was nice. Thank you, our greatest president, Trump. Great little speech there. I thought it was nice. Pretty cool. Okay, so let me get to the calls as promised, and then I'll get to your super chats as well. First, Will in Texas on the line over here. Will, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
It's a little loud and tinny. Are you on a speakerphone or something? I hear a bunch of background noise.
Hold on, man. I'm getting in my truck.
Nice.
I'm at work.
Oh,
All
right.
right, how about now?
It's a little bit better.
All right, let me see. Okay, so what's going on, Hank? You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Are
you on a speaker? Can you come on a regular phone?
Yeah, just
come in.
Yeah,
a little
one
tinny.
second, man.
A little tinny for my taste.
All right, how about that now?
That's improved. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all right, cool. That's as good as I can get.
No worries.
Yeah, so I watched the whole deal, man, mostly from when most of the speakers started. Obviously, it was a very long procession of events.
Wow, what made you watch that whole thing?
I didn't. I mean, I got home from work over the weekend, and it had already proceeded past some of the opening ceremony, and then you started having some of the procession of speakers taking turns at the microphone before the president came on. I didn't get to see everybody, but got to see quite a few.
Oh, okay.
And it was good. Some people will exclaim, oh, well, it seemed kind of propagandized and theatrical. And I mean,
of course,
when you're dealing, I'm sorry.
I said, of course, it's
Yeah, well, I mean, when it's not the same. I mean, we're average individuals. You're talking about somebody who touched the lives of millions of people.
That's right.
And it's just it's a different setting. And I mean, that just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime, even in a business setting, they have formal events where it's, your business is accepting awards, and it becomes, a little bit more than just business. And there's, pomp and praise and, hors d'oeuvres. Now, I mean, I understand. I felt a little bit, the average person feels a bit more somber. And, Trump's always had a view of, he takes things in stride and he doesn't let things get him down. I mean, that's one of his superpowers, his just uncanny ability to just keep pushing forward, even in the face of some of the most trying times. So I give him that.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I called was because JLP was talking this morning, I caught, and, and he was talking about Erika Kirk's, exclamation, public exclamation of forgiveness for the shooter, and that he thought, well, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I think it's fake, or it could be, or maybe it's all an act. And then he referenced, of course, well, she was an actress or, a pageant model. I mean, that's the same thing as saying, oh, I was in Boy Scouts or something. I mean, who has control over what they're doing in their early life? Or like, oh, I mean, you can say the same thing about Melania if you want to be disingenuous. Like, oh, well, she was just a model.
Right,
but
we want not to be disingenuous.
Right, exactly. So that's why I thought some of those comments that he made were kind of somewhat disingenuous, especially when he said he didn't even watch it. And I'm like, well, you got to watch it, man. It's kind of like reading Braille. You can't. How are you supposed to get any of the intonations of how things actually come off if you're not watching and looking at the body language? Because she was very upset. She had much struggle trying to say those words because she knew it was the right Christian thing to do. And that's what JLP's always preaching. Where's the love? Where's the love? There was the love, the ultimate forgiveness in the face of, in the face of your enemy. And she even asked, her husband, you could hear her mouthing the words, asking for strength from God and from Charlie in order to, do what she knew as a Christian she should do.
But how are you calling that disingenuous just because he didn't watch it? He saw
I
the clip.
Watched it.
No, but just because he didn't watch it and he saw the clip and responded to the clip, how do you call that disingenuous from Jesse and not her?
Well, I'm just saying that you could clearly see that to me, it didn't seem contrived. It didn't seem like an act. What's to act about it? I think, if, she's married, he's not, you're not. Like, lose a husband, lose a wife, and then maybe we have some skin in the game to talk about how, you're supposed to respond or whether or not you feel it would be, impromptu to say those things in public. And I feel like she said that in public so that other people would get the right message of, forgiveness. So I think she was being genuine. I just felt like that was a little, like I said, like a little quick to judge that, just because of, X, Y, and Z. And
did you hear him say that he could be wrong?
Yeah, I know. But that's like a disclaimer at the end of a statement.
Right. So he acknowledged that he could be wrong, though. Or are you calling Jesse
disingenuous? But it's an 80-20 for him.
What?
He was more on his left foot than his right foot.
Fair.
So that's what I have to say.
That's just his
I'm
impression.
sorry,
is that not fair to have an impression, to express his impression of her?
No, I mean it is fair, and we should all have our own critical thinking impressions on stuff. You certainly don't, just because, again, to what he always alludes to, don't do it because I say so, or no because that not because I told you so.
It sounds like you're judging him because you think he's judging her.
No, I mean, I don't want to say that I'm judging. I'm just like, my thing is rather than just standing on his left foot and be like, well, it's got to be more of this. I just felt like he could have been, I just felt like it was more apparently open and readily seen that it felt to me more like just honesty. And I understand where everybody's coming from, and they're like, oh, well, now she's CEO. Well, I mean, who do you want CEO of Turning Point to be? Ben Shapiro, the Zio shill? I mean, everybody's clamoring to take that spot. And no, maybe I don't agree that it should be a woman.
Yeah.
But who's it going to be? When you're surrounded by lions and jackals and hyenas who are so ready to take over the movement and then proclaim Charlie would have done this or would have wanted that, the only person I'm going to listen to is probably his wife.
Really?
I mean, Well, yeah. I mean, who else would know him better? And again, it's politics.
What about
He's
the guy?
like the,
What about the guys next to him? Or I don't know. There's
yeah, but
he employed 1,000 people.
I know, but he's a sheep. He's a sheep in a den of lions. I'm just saying, when you're at the top, recognizing that you're around powerful people that have their own vested interests. The reason there's no replacing Charlie is because that's just it. There's nobody replacing the morality that was in that man. And we all know it. Otherwise, we just would have been like, oh, it's okay. So-and-so is just as good. We feel just the same way about X, so-and-so. So he'll take the mantle and it'll all be good and it'll carry on in the way that, that most closely resembles what Charlie was about. I haven't seen anybody say anybody. I've seen a lot of pundits and a lot of people, powerful people already, looking to take that up and, hijack it, if you will, and bend it to their will. And, just like, Bibi Netanyahu coming on like, oh, Charlie would have really loved this and would have done that. And he was such a friend of blah, blah, blah. And you're like, it's too early, man. Like, it's too early. I know you're talking out your butt. And, and I agree. And
You're
I like what
attacking all
Trump
these
said.
men.
No, I want a right man to lead. But where, as Jesse says, there are no good men. So
I know, but a woman is not the solution.
She
that.
may not stick around for that long, but I mean, at least it's a placeholder. I mean, it fills a vacuum, and so that way nobody can just swoop in.
You know what it
and
feels like,
take
man?
over the place.
It feels like you're making excuses for her.
I'm not. There's no real excuse to make. I don't know her.
Just saying,
you
acknowledge that you don't know that she really forgave from her heart. She just forgave because she's supposed to forgive, because so-called forgave, because Christians are supposed to forgive. So she did it to set an example. Whether it was real or not is another story.
Well, when we ask for forgiveness, I mean, you could turn the same question and prying eyes around on us. So, Hake only forgave, asked God for forgiveness because he knows he was wrong, and he asked for forgiveness.
No, but
in his prayers,
I get what you're saying. But the point is, you don't know that it was real, right?
None of us do.
Yeah.
What do you got a lie detector? I mean, she's doing as much as she can. Of course,
you're
I know
giving her all
she did
this
her.
credence and grace, and
I'm
no
not,
grace
I'm
for
just
the men.
saying,
No grace for Ben Shapiro, no grace for Jesse Lee, and no grace for base Bibi Netanyahu, one of my top favorite Jews of the top 10.
Oh, Lord. Lord, propagandist at best.
Who Bibi is a propagandist? Or hate?
I mean, I don't believe that you truly believe that stuff, but I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I really like Bibi. I think of Bibi as manly.
Man.
I think of Bibi as pretty manly. I don't watch him enough. One of my friends told me that Bibi irks him, and I'm like, irks? What clips are you watching of Bibi that they could irk you? I don't watch clips of Bibi or
I mean, I'm not for any of the wars and stuff. I'm tired of him coming over always demanding we do stuff for that, or point the gun this way, or sacrifice this or that. And you're like, well, what have you done? And it's crickets. There's nothing. Israel's never sent any aid, never sent any soldiers, never died for any cause that's American. So I don't know how based he is. And I mean, he's wanted for war crimes in his own country, and half the people don't like him. So I think he should tend to his own flock.
His own country is wanting him for war crimes, or is somebody else outside of the country wanting him for war crimes?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but I mean, I think didn't the crimes not come from recommendations by people within his own government? I mean, he certainly doesn't speak.
Do you believe that those are
he
war crimes?
won the election, but I'm alluding to the International Court of.
Yeah. Do you give credence to that international court? That court is an enemy of America too.
Well, no, I agree. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So yes, I'll admit on that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give credence, and I don't really. I use it as just to say, but I mean, some of it comes from his own.
So it sounds like your
country.
But by saying something that is kind of going along with the liberal agenda of accusing people of genocide and war crimes and stuff. It sounds like you're just piling on.
You're forcing people out and you're starving them, dude. It's. You can call it what you want or make whatever fancy word you want. Yeah, but it sounds
like you're piling on to him.
I'm just calling it like I see it.
But you don't exactly see it as war crimes, or do you?
What? What
what
particularly?
what Bibi's done.
Oh, what you mean in relation to Gaza?
Yeah.
If we're going to use that for an example, I would certainly say.
Do you see it as war crimes though? Just to be clear.
I mean, to be clear, I mean, if a war crime is the way in which you're going about, removing a population from a designated area by, force, via force or coercion or, starving them out, just like we used to do, surround and siege the city,
right.
Poison the moats, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, and we've agreed, in general practice that that's not the way we want to, go about solving our differences when it comes to war, just like we don't use, white phosphorus anymore or, bouncing Bettys or whatever that cluster bomb munitions because it's too humanely immoral and just destroys the human body, then, in an act of war, then what do you want to say about it?
Well,
it's not like you hear on the news every day that he's given.
I wanted your personal take if you consider it war crime.
If you're going to starve somebody out, and you're going to forcibly remove them with violence, then I don't know exactly how that would be a Christian thing that I would get behind.
Well, it wouldn't. It's not necessarily Christian, but is it a war crime?
Well, all war is a crime, I guess, in God's eyes. But I mean, again, a war crime would be just a general consensus on what we will and will not accept in the face of violence.
I'm not asking for a consensus. I'm just asking your personal opinion. It sounds like you.
Okay, in my personal opinion, I would consider that some type of crime, war crime. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel honorable to me in which the way he's going about solving whatever issue he believes he feels rightfully justified in Gaza.
Okay.
He's not offering them it's not like, hey, man, I've already got a boat waiting for you. You're going to go over here. These people are going to take care of you. He's like, what's that, closing time? Everybody's got to go, but you can't stay here. Don't care how I get you out, but see you later.
Nice.
So,
well, call JLP about his reaction to Charlie, Erika Kirk. You definitely should talk with him about it.
I mean, I will, and I didn't want to interrupt his show, so I mean, it wasn't.
Why not?
Listen. I just don't want you to take the opinion that I went around behind his back to talk crap, on your show because I didn't want to call in. I'm at work, I'm busy,
right on.
And I felt like you're a little bit quieter, and I just felt like it was a better opportunity for me to express some of this stuff. And I will close with this because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I did enjoy what Trump said in the sense that I understand that he's the president of the United States, which comes with certain obligations in the way in which he has to conduct himself. And maybe, there are some things I wish he was a little bit more somber. I could definitely tell he was upset. You can look at his mouth and how terse he was and the way his lips were very flat and his quick furtive glances, that he was clearly not happy. And he was obviously processing in the way that he processes emotions differently than everybody else, but he was processing something strongly about what had happened apparently to his friend, to somebody he considered a son. And so I will say that, and he said, "Oh, Erika, I can't forgive." And I understand that. And maybe God's working through him to be the sword. We should forgive. But, as we say in our court system, Lady Justice is blind. She carries a scale, but she also has a sword. So what's the point of the sword if it's never used? And I think that's half our issue with a country as a whole, is we have a lot of deflection from, accountability. And, you can call the sword accountability if you want, but justice must have its equal measure. So if he's saying he won't forgive and that he must, or that he understands. I don't think he said he
won't forgive. I think he said he doesn't wish them the best, and he hates his opponents.
Good point. Yeah. And what do you think of that?
I was funny. It was funny. It was real. And it was pretty real, and it was
Trump,
genuine. And it was also, it didn't come off like in a nasty, angry, evil spirit.
No, you could tell he mulled over it too, because he mentioned it to Erika.
The way that you just described or explained your impression of Trump, it sounds like you're trying to give him grace because you didn't really fully agree with his presentation. Like did you wish he was more somber?
No, what I mean by all that is I'm taking everything into account. I'm not just dismissing anybody's particular viewpoint. Like I'm taking it all in. I'm keeping an open mind. Somebody says, "Hey, fireworks seemed, a bit much," as one caller said. I would, I'm like, man, dude, because even I looked when I saw that, I was like, really, guys? I'm like, you're kind of doing this. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be a memorial?
But wouldn't Charlie be? Do you think Charlie would be against fireworks at a rally in his memorial?
No,
I think that Charlie would love that.
Yeah, see, but that's the funny part. I would agree too. Like, and I would agree on both sides. I could see how because that's just a difference. Sometimes, the regular people were like, everybody around's like somber, or maybe like how people were crying for Jesus on the cross, but Jesus wasn't worried if you asked him. They're all crying around him, and he's like, I got this, and we're all crying around Charlie, but Charlie's like, hey, no, this is cool. Like, we're persevering in the face of adversity. So rather than be, dismayed, fireworks and celebration, push through. So
Nice.
I'm just giving credence to all of that and not being closed-minded about, about one point over the other. Some people, well, Trump was, but that's Trump. I'm seeing both sides of the road. Somebody criticizes Trump for not being, somber enough, but I'm saying, hey, but you got to look at the way Trump is. This is as close as you're going to get to a guy who doesn't, ever apologize because that's his nature. He keeps pushing forward. Oh, he needs to be. This is what you get. If you can't notice the small things, like the way he's bodily acting, you're going to miss that he is feeling these things. So I'm just saying I understand all of it. I don't dismiss anybody's particular take. I think it's a table, it's a buffet, and it's all there. You can find what you want in it. I think overall it's good. I think it was somber where it needed to be, but resilient where it should have been.
Nice.
So I appreciate your time. Yeah, 100%. Thanks a lot. Derek was great. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I went to church, and I'm going to continue to go to church. And as Erika's wife as Charlie's wife definitely pointed out, make it a constant thing, and don't let it fade, because that's what's real. So.
All right. Well, appreciate it, man. Call me again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You have a great day.
All right. You too. Tim in Illinois on the line over here. Tim, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, what's up? Hey, guy, I ain't talked to you in a while. How you doing?
It's been a little while, yeah. Doing all right.
Yeah. I said, man, I got to call my buddy Higgins, see how he's doing. And
formerly known as, what was your old name used to be? Can you remind
me?
Keith. Now it's Tim.
Yeah. Ken.
Ken, K-E-N. Thank you.
Yeah, K-E-N. Yeah. I was just going on kind of like an alias, but now I'm like, I got to be who I am. And
right on, man. It's you were Keith from Illinois so long that it takes a while to for it to sink in. I appreciate it, Ken. What an honor.
Yeah. Yes, I have a couple things. I'll never hold you long. I just noticed that, I look at Hamas, how they do the Palestinians, the way they use them to enrich themselves and keep them in poverty and keep them, hating the Jews and hating everybody while they enrich themselves. It's the same philosophy the Democrats use on black people.
Yeah.
They've been doing it. Yeah, that's the same thing. The black people, they won't let black people assimilate with America. Like, we've been in America for what, 500 years or 1,000 years, whatever. But they will not let blacks assimilate with America. Like, go to work, be good people, be decent, you know what I'm saying? They keep bringing up the past. So they won't let them assimilate. That's all it is. And the Hamas does the Palestinians the same way. They can work with the Jews, have jobs. Everybody can live in harmony. But, the Hamas knows that, they don't make money that way. They stay in power by keeping their people, oppressed, angry, hostile, you know what I'm saying? And the same while they're dying every day and, and going through hell like the blacks do with the Democrats, they still the Hamas live, probably live in other countries, live in palaces, just like the Democrats do. These Democrat politicians, they live in, gated communities, they say white people bad, but they live in a white community, you know what I'm saying? They have lots of money, millions of dollars. They have mansions. They have, chauffeurs. If they use the same philosophy all over the world, you get a group of people that call themselves activists or so-called for the poor, but they're just using the poor so they can enrich themselves. I mean,
Totally.
the same as the Democrats.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like the transgenders' anger and the LGBT's anger and the women's anger and all that.
Yeah.
They're exploiting
Yeah.
the people by their
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And there's going to be a
They
bunch of...
tell them
Remember the Tea
that-
Party? The Tea Party's
Yeah.
anger was exploited by Tea Party fakers who turned out to be total rhinos, every bit as bad as
Right.
the establishment. They were the
Right.
establishment.
And people need to realize that, that you just using you, just like BLM, they bought mansions, in all white neighborhoods in LA, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with white neighborhoods, but it's just that when are people going to wake up and realize these people just use you, you live in poverty, you die of disease, you go to prison, your children suffer through hell and chaos, while their children go to private school with white kids and they elite, you know what I'm saying? And they live a very good life, giving them the con game and the BS. And it's done all over the world through different, all over the world. And I'd like to say this too. You look at Charlie Kirk. Now we want to celebrate Charlie Kirk, and the left have a problem with it. But they want to celebrate, Michael Brown,
Totally.
Trayvon Martin. All these are criminal people. George Floyd. The thugs, the criminals, the ghetto, hood rat kind of people,
Yeah.
So they have a problem with us celebrating a good man, a moral man, a Christian man. They have a problem with that.
Totally.
But they want to celebrate their thugs and their criminals. See the difference?
Yeah.
The Democrats and the left, they want to celebrate thugs, murderers, rapists, robbers, drug dealers, the worst of the worst of mankind. So they get upset when we want to celebrate, the best of mankind. So, I mean, it's easy to see what's really going on today. And I'm glad things are being exposed. We can get to see who people really are. So I say the silver lining in the 4 years of Biden, the total open borders, high inflation, devastation is people got to see what's really going on. I mean, you got Mayor Brandon. Every time you put a black Democrat in, you can kiss your city, your government. You can kiss it all goodbye. They're going to destroy it, and they're going to cry racism and destroy you at the same time. It's the same con game, going on throughout America and the world. So at least I say people get to be exposed now, and I see the glass half full now that we might be going forward. We have President Trump in there showing the world and showing people that, we can grow, we can be economic, we can come together. So I would just like to say I see the glass half full. Now, when Biden was in, I saw it half empty.
Yeah. Yep. Totally,
So,
man.
so yeah, it's just Hamas is just the Democrats on the other side. And you realize Yasser Arafat, he was a leader of the Palestinians.
Oh, really? He was
20 years ago.
Palestinian. I remember that name, Arafat. What a cool name.
And guess what? He had $1 billion worth of stock in an American stock market. He had stocks and bonds. They reported that on CNBC. That was about 15 years ago. So you see how he played his own people. He was worth $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he a good guy or a bad guy or both?
Oh, he's a bad guy because he did the same thing Hamas is doing.
Oh,
he
really?
tells them the Jews are their problem. Stay at war,
Wow.
stay at conflict. The whole time he was worth $1 billion.
I laugh, but that's not good.
It's all con game. It's all con game.
Palestinian National Authority. Wow.
Yeah. So I just had to say those things. Then I had to say hello to my buddy Hake. So that's all.
Well, it's great hearing from you, man.
Same here, man. You take care of yourself. I'll be in touch soon, buddy.
Sounds good. All right. Take care.
All right. Bye. All right.
Bye. Whew. Exciting stuff going on in the world. I got to read some super chats, everybody. I guess I'll read this one first since it came in first. From Mike. Oh, yeah, I read that. At this point, just call me Mike. Lord. Face palm emoji or hand or shaking his head emoji. Sure. Sorry, holy hake. I'm so... Cover your eyes, kids. Don't read this word, especially you French kids or Canadian kids or French Canadian kids. Holy hake. I'm so French Canadian. I'm purposely garbling it so as not to say a bad word in French, although it sounds like a word that I would want to say. Pardon his French. I've got a hard time expressing myself. Apparently, you were asking me about pull-ups. And I answered about push-ups. Eye roll emoji. Plus, I kept talking over you. I don't remember you talking over me. What, But thanks for noticing. So maybe you correct yourself on that. It's good not to talk over one another. It's a bad habit of many of us, especially for the sake of radio / productions, so that one talks, the other's silent. The other is silent, the one talks. Something like that. Anyway, I'll call Friday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. To talk about genocide, quote unquote. And let's see how you're going to protect your little Jewish friends. Disguise emoji. One eyebrow down, the other up emoji. Looking at you strange. Thank you. At this point, just call me Mike. I'm looking forward to it. I heard a little bit, at least, of your call with the American Anchor Baby about genocide. Nice. Shout out. We're pulling for you, Palestinians. I guess. Whatever. Nice. Some, positive vibes and feelings. Even though I do call Bibi based, I'm not for or necessarily against what he's doing. I don't know. You guys know better than me. I have no sway. I don't have his ear that I know of. Terry bought a coffee. Nice shirt, Hake. Okay, sign emoji, which is not white power. Thank you, Terry, you 70-something% racist. Popcorn's thump keg bought a coffee. I heard Jesse touched on this briefly today, but I wanted to get your take on it, and that is the Great White Hope's comments about at the Charlie Kirk funeral, specifically him saying, quote, I hate my opponents, and, quote, I don't want what's best for them, unquote. I was somewhat surprised to hear Jesse say that he agreed with that statement. Did Jesse say that? Did he say he agreed with that statement? I don't know if he said that he agreed with that. Anyway, especially given that he used the exact wording Jesse typically uses, which is you wish them well. He, Jesse, even went so far. No, I don't know if he used the exact phrase, but the phrase was want what's best for them. Anyway, Jesse even went so far as to say you shouldn't want peace with your enemy when he was interacting with a caller who said she didn't like what Trump had to say on that. Did Jesse say you shouldn't want peace with your enemy? Interesting. You should, if that's the case, you shouldn't have this impulsive wanting to have peace with your enemy, because then you'll make peace when there is no peace. It strikes me as Jesse will defend anything the Great White Hope says, and then when it's in the direction, almost word for word, direct opposition, almost word for what he has said, like wish them well, it doesn't matter. You've said the Great White Hope is a man of peace. Indeed, he really is. But when Jesse says you shouldn't want peace with your enemy, the contradictions in the message are extremely glaring, assuming you agree with him. What are your... well, Jesse said almost exactly what I always say when you bring up Trump's anger and hate and stuff like that. You don't know what he means by his words. Don't be hung up on words, Popcorn. But he continues with his question. What are your thoughts on what the Great White Hope said? Does he get yet another, oh, he didn't mean it like that, quote unquote, pass? Well, I'll just say you don't know that he meant it like that. And the spirit in which he said it did not come off angry, nasty, evil, malicious, lying, judgmental, stuff like that. If so, at what point do you just admit he can do no wrong in your eyes? He asks. Have I already said he can do no wrong, basically? I don't know. When I heard him say, I don't wish them well, or I don't wish the best for them, or something like that, that made me think of Jesse's common phrase, you wish them well, even your enemies. I'll have to find one of the clips. if you look at how Trump is with people, he does wish them well. Here, let me go back up and find the moment for you. That was I hate my opponents. About 21 minutes in.
Walk across the street.
All right.
But this is like
Just for you,
an old-time
popcorn.
In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erika. But now Erika can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Charlie's mad.
Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true.
Nice. And Trump has said about Black Lives Matter interrupting his rallies in 2016. I think I could talk with some of these people, but some people you just can't talk with. You cannot reason with. So that was a manly response, I thought. Pretty nice there, Popcorn. Appreciate that. Do you agree with Jesse's message? It seems like you're hung up on words and intellect and judging. But thank you, Popcorn. Appreciate it. Very kind. Look at Arafat. Rest in peace. See, don't Ben Affleck and this Dearborn mayor look the same to you or to me? There's a Dearborn mayor. Looks like a Muslim, Armenian, Mexican, because I'm used to seeing Mexicans. I'm not used to seeing Middle Easterners, so they all look Mexican to me. I saw this Pakistani, and he looked Mexican to me. A darker Pakistani. Yeah, I saw it on, watch, if we go over to facebook.com/rebuildingtheman, there was this post by somebody who was, here's JLP saying, believer and non-believer the same. If we check this out.
They're both the same.
Oh, sorry, guys. Let me turn that down just a touch. Believer and non-believer are the same, right? So this pastor guy disagrees with JLP, and I perused his thing. And look at this Pakistani. Doesn't he look Mexican? He's wearing a White History Month shirt, by the way. That's a Pakistani immigrant on Muslims in the UK. Hopefully he doesn't cuss. Let's hear what he has to say here. If I can find the unmute button.
Yeah. There are many. There are plenty. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm...
Okay, he doesn't...
If I'm in this country and I can...
Sorry about that. Here.
...not abide by the law of this country, I think I should be deported as well. Why do you come to a country, you know the rules, you know the regulations, especially when you come illegally,
This is obnoxious. So they have the subtitles directly over the subtitles. What a mess. Let me see if I can turn off the subtitles. I'm such a boomer. I don't know how to work this stuff. Captions. Let me turn off the captions because it's right in the middle of the video and they put the captions right in the middle of the video. Anyway, this guy is talking about this Pakistani immigrant. He's talking about Muslims in the UK.
No, everything is on the book. If you cannot follow that, if you're not okay with UK being a Christian country, maybe go to a Muslim country then.
Yeah.
There are many. There are plenty. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing it. I don't see any ethnic minority, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
So on one hand, as an immigrant, you've given a voice to other immigrants who perhaps feel the same way as you, but they're scared to speak out.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I'm sure you have some people who really hate you, who really... How
White
do you
History
deal with
Month.
that?
Well, I've got a lot of death threats. Unfortunately, the police won't help me. The police aren't here to help me. They've got I do get a lot of death threats, and it is only from my own community.
Nice. So he looks Mexican and he sounds Pakistani, I guess. Nice. And White History Month. I wonder if he got that from JLP, who founded White History Month. Fact is, there are good people and not good people. Many choose to assimilate and accept the country that accepted them. On the other hand, there are often more who will always try to bring the extremism of the Cover your eyes, kids. Hole they left to the new home. Indeed. Shout out. I forget how that came up. Oh, yeah, this guy. So, don't they look similar? Ben Affleck, American actor, perhaps. I guess, American. Abdullah Hamoud, mayor of Dearborn, Michigan. You're not welcome, Mr. Christian man. You may have seen that on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. American Anchor, maybe? Both? I forget. If I refreshed, you'll probably see the live stream going. Nice. So, that's that for that. Let me get back to the calls before we get back to the stories. Arthur in Colorado on the line here. Arthur, are you there?
Hey, Hank.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just before I make my comment, you, Nick, and Jesse, you guys are kind of like my version of a Charlie Kirk, just so you know, just by the way you guys speak and let people vocal their opinions and stuff. So I appreciate all you guys do.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah, my comment is just like I'm not at all surprised about what's going on with Charlie Kirk and everything. Just being that who was more perfect, Jesus or Charlie Kirk? And Jesus was crucified on a cross, and he was absolutely perfect to what we know. Also, when did he die? 33, 36.
Yeah.
Another thing is it wasn't like. Excuse me if my voice is a little raspy. I got a little cold going on here. Just in terms of the disciples, I mean, all of them died excruciating deaths. It wasn't like they had this glamorous king lifestyle. They were always hiding. They were speaking their mind. They all died horrific deaths. So that's why I'm just looking at today and how crazy the world is, and I'm not at all surprised. I'm surprised it's not crazier than what we're, been seeing, in the past, and how crazy the world's kind of getting. I kind of look at it and not seeing anyone look as if, they're not surprised. I'm just not at all. I'm kind of wondering why everyone else is so surprised that somebody, as I guess moral as Charlie Kirk, he did stand up for certain morals and stuff like that, but it's like everyone's in shock, and it's like, no, like, what do you think evil does? It doesn't want people like that living, getting out the word, it killed Jesus, and he was spit on when he was crucified. And like, are we forgetting that? Like, this isn't a glamorous situation where if we're able to talk about these things that we believe in, that we're going to live a great life. It's never said that that's a thing, although we would like to think that. So Charlie Kirk and, Trump being shot and all this craziness in the world is just not at all a shocker to me. And I don't hear anybody really out there acting as if it's, I guess in my, in what I'm seeing, it's kind of a little crazy. I feel like I'm in a bit of a twilight zone over here.
In what way?
I guess because I feel like it's expected. Like, a lot of this stuff that we're seeing that looks crazy is, for me, I kind of feel like it's expected being, I don't know.
The evil?
I'm not sure. Yeah, like evil. That
yeah.
I guess it's like we're in end times. It's like, what is it going to be more glamorous? Like, it's supposed to get dark.
Yeah.
So I guess and that's just been recently after, even some of the ordeals that have been going on after, before Trump was shot. I mean, there's all this craziness, and I'm just kind of like, well, this is kind of what it says, and I don't know the Bible all like that, but I know hearing it repeatedly that, there's going to come dark times, and,
yeah,
people like church. I don't think, I'm sorry to say, I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be the only one. There's probably going to be more, so let's not be surprised, but keeping our guard up. And, I love that you played that Trump speech, because he's speaking his mind. It's like, I think a lot of us men feel that way. We're just kind of fed up, and we're just kind of like, what is this? There's a truth about it. It doesn't sound the most glamorous, but come on, like, do the liberals sound exactly glamorous? They're completely celebrating. It's so, yeah, liberals celebrating, it's kind of a parallel look to them laughing, rejoicing in Charlie Kirk's death. Well, guess what? Jesus was getting stuff thrown at him. He was getting spit on. He had to carry this heavy cross. They weren't giving him any water. I mean, so it's almost like it's an eye-opener for me, and I just kind of find it interesting, people's level of shock. I guess that's kind of what I'm going through now.
And the Bible says not to be surprised or taken aback by that stuff.
Does it? Where does it say that? Because I would like to look that up, because I want to say, like, I know verses and things said in the Bible, but I don't know it like I should. Like, some people just know the verses, but I would like love to hear those certain verses spoke about, because I just find it very interesting, and it's very it's really what's going on, like, today. I mean, if any other time today, I see it the most.
Well, Google AI, I searched it on the internet, and Google AI says the Bible instructs followers. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt, AI, of course. And it's using the NIV translations in some cases. But 1 Peter 4:12, dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you as though something strange were happening to you. The passage,
wow.
Okay, and then 1 John 3:13, do not be surprised, brothers, that the world hates you. 2 Timothy 3:12, in fact, everyone who wants to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. So
yeah, there it is. There it is. That's the one, and that's what I'm kind of feeling in my gut right now. So I guess, as unperfect as I am, I'm definitely thinking in the right direction, which is good to know, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate all you guys speaking. If anything, I've listened to you, Nick, and Jesse as much as I have Charlie Kirk, so I put you on that same level, just so you guys know. So appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Arthur. Appreciate it. Take care.
You too.
All right. I was almost remiss. In fact, I was remiss in that I skipped Cesar or Cesar's 3 coffees. Sup, hey, nice shirt, man. Tan, okay sign. It's not white power. Haig looking like an extra on this Scarface movie, which I have yet to see. Okay, it's my homework, I know. Looking like he got 2 dates tonight. Haig looking like a white version of Rico Suave. Whoever that is, I heard of it. Oh, is that guy from the Napoleon movie thingy? Dynamite. Looking like he got to take a picture for picture day at school, laughing face with tears. You look really smooth, man. Don't forget to put on a nice cologne for your hot dates today. Laughing sideways with tears, joking. Enjoy the week, everybody. Cool sunglasses. Thank you, Cesar or Cesar. Much obliged. Much obliged. Sweet. All right, so I will get to more of your super chats as they come in. Appreciate them. Jan, I believe, in Germany, is on the line here. Jan, are you there?
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
Doing fine. Let me hear you say it. Your name.
Jan. Oh, okay, well, I actually Americanize it. Jan. This is if I was just speaking German, I'd say Jan.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello. So, about the whole good and evil thing, okay, I'm just say it straight up the way I see it right now. And I don't know, right? But I want to say it the way I'm seeing it right now. It looks to me like evil has, it's obvious to anyone, right, that evil is moving. That's obvious. But it feels to me like there's, say, in the name of good, there will be this opposite. There will be in the name of good, but it will also be evil. And I want people to be cautious and not be swayed by emotions, and follow the next big thing. This whole Charlie Kirk thing, the way it's being moved and used, reeks of falseness.
Yeah. I definitely get the same feeling. You're talking about the phony celebration of Charlie and this Christianity revival type stuff?
Yeah, and it's like basically, we got to move a lot of people in a certain way, and so first you bind them, and how do you bind them? You bind them by emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have them bound in emotion, then you make them all feel something at the same time, and then you create a current. And I have no idea what they're up to. Like definitely, I don't know. We'll see. But it's just saying if you see them stirring, then don't follow that. Just stay present and become silent and let that storm go through you first, and then in the silence you will find an answer.
Nice. I'm with you on that. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the passage, the Peter passage, really struck a nerve with me. That's why I called.
Oh, this one that I read over here.
Yeah. That's literally how I feel right now.
Nice. The one that says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you." Per NIV.
Yeah, this is me, like literally right at this moment today. Yeah.
You were surprised, or you were not surprised?
I'm not surprised. It's just these times are strange, and it really just feels like Jesse always says this, and I also like quoting it, that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against powers and high places and principalities in the spiritual realm. And I truly feel that this, if one is with the spirit and receptive to these things, then I don't know. It's I cannot explain it very well with words, but I just see it, and it, yeah.
Nice. Oh.
Nice. I like how you the Jesse has the amazing and you have the nice.
Nice. Right on.
Funny. That's pretty funny. I like that. That's good.
It's great hearing from you, Jan.
Okay. Hey, can I ask you a question?
All right.
So what does your gut feeling tell you?
About?
And about what's to come, and like if you don't really have anything to say that makes a lot of sense, then mumble. But like you know what I'm saying? Like just
you want me
mumble
to,
about.
You want me to respond, and if I have very little response, to mumble?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I forget whether you said it or whether Arthur said it, but I don't know what's to come. But more of the same, I'm sure, is to come, and we'll see what happens. But when I think back about what happened to Charlie Kirk, we should have expected something like that because of what tried to happen to Trump, with his ear getting grazed or shot, and that was like a next level type of close call, and so something, as Jesus said, stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. Well, the people aren't stopping sinning, so worse stuff is happening.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that guy who was, according to his text messages, his purported text messages, the assassins, he was tired of all of Charlie Kirk's hatred. And so he hated Charlie's hate, and he became worse than Charlie Kirk, if Charlie Kirk is at all bad, or was bad.
Oh, no. Now I have like a kind of more concise sentence of what this call is about. It's to be cautious not to make friends with evil in the name of good, because I feel like that is what a lot of the next months will be about.
Oh, yeah, true. Fair enough. Meaning all these people who are all excited to get on the gospel train, all aboard the gospel train.
Yeah.
My seat's
to
reserved.
To quote Jesse, all in the name of Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
All right,
Nice.
man.
Good message. Take care, Jan.
Have a good one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. And Jermaine in Canada is on the line here. Jermaine, you don't pronounce it Canada, do you?
What? Sorry?
You don't pronounce it Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah.
I don't have a French accent now.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's French, huh?
Yeah.
French-Canadian accent.
Frenchies pronounce it Canada. Something along those lines.
Very nice.
Yeah. How are you, Jake?
Doing fine. How about you, man? Do you do
all is
burpees? I meant to
Burpees?
ask
What
you
is
last
that?
week. Oh, you don't even know what burpees are.
No.
Burpees
Is it a
are
white?
when it's a type of exercise. It's sort of a compound exercise. You squat, and when you're at the bottom of your squat, you jump down to do a push-up, and you do a push-up or few, and then you jump back up onto your feet, and you squat, and maybe you do a full jump squat, and then you get back down on your feet and on your hands and feet to do another push-up, and then you jump back up and do a jump squat, and then you get back down and do a push-up or a few, and you do those over and over, and those are called burpees.
Oh.
You heard of that?
No.
Have you seen that before?
I have a friend that does that. I have a friend. Yeah, he does stuff like that.
Yeah.
It more endurance and like build your hips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Josh from wherever he's from, he does those next to his truck because he's a trucker and that's his exercise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good, actually.
It is good exercise. And you said it's endurance. It's also a bit of strength. I mean, depending on how hard you're going. But yeah, I remember I haven't done them in a while, but last year I was doing them sometimes, and I could do like 7. And there would just be one push-up, right? And I'm like, oh, man. My whole system was like winded. I knew I was out of shape at that point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You're gasping for breath.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, go
That's
ahead.
true. It's like taking some time off the gym, and when you get back in there, you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're patient with yourself, you recognize that your body's not in the shape that it was, and you just do what you can where you are, then it's nothing to be discouraged or dismayed about. You can still get a little bit of... I think even old people, their muscles respond to exercise even when they're old, despite that they are losing muscle and losing bone density or losing and dying and stuff like that. It's still good to exercise, and it's still an improvement over not exercising. So shout out old people if you can.
Yeah, that's very true. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was giving you a call here. You're probably familiar with the Jurassic World or Park movie, right?
I haven't kept track of which Jurassic Park movies I've seen. I have seen some of the more recent ones. I don't remember if I saw, because it came out when I was like 12. And so I didn't watch, and it was PG-13, the first one, Jurassic Park. The original, 1993, I guess.
Yeah, it was a year before I was born. That's crazy.
So, anyways, yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World stuff a little. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it was on the weekend or last weekend or the weekend before. it popped up on I was watching TV and it popped up. I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. Let's see, because I like the dinosaur kind of fantasy movies things, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to think much or the propaganda. Or, you just relax and enjoy a movie.
And this is the 2015 one, Jurassic World, with Chris Pratt.
No, this is. Oh, that one I thought that one was okay, but I like the older versions one.
Oh,
But this
okay.
one is the new one.
Yeah.
With Scarlett Johansson as a lead actor or actress, I was like, oh Lord. But I still try to give it a watch. It's horrible.
And so this is the Jurassic World Rebirth, PG-13, has Scarlett Johansson and a bunch of others, and it was from what year? 2025. That's just recently.
Yeah.
And so you saw it on TV?
Yeah.
It has Mahershala Ali, that black guy, on it. Nice.
Oh yeah, it's horrible, man. I couldn't even finish that.
Whoa,
I was
really?
like, whoa. And it's not like I can watch a lot of movie. I'm very picky when it comes to watching a movie or a show.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know, it's just boring and filled with propaganda and all type of different stuff.
You know what I was bored with? I tried to watch Wonder Woman because I'm like,
Lord.
Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman as a kid. I mean, I preferred men superheroes, but Wonder Woman's pretty, and then they had that Israeli gal is her little name, and so I'm like, yeah, she's pretty. I couldn't finish it, and I didn't even really sense propaganda other than that it was a bunch of women, but it was just the epicness is kind of boring, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I turned it off. Maybe I was just tired.
Yeah, I can't watch like DC stuff or Marvel stuff.
Me
I'll
either.
more watch like, if I'm watching like DC stuff, it's gonna be like animated stuff.
Oh,
That's about
yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah. Other than that, no.
So interesting. Well, thank you for the little movie review. That it was boring and it sounded like you were willing to look past, which I can do that pretty well too. Look past the propaganda, recognize the propaganda, but look past it and not care, and still enjoy the otherwise decent art, if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you couldn't even do that for the Jurassic World Rebirth.
I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Well, it was this is over 2 hours long, 2 hours and 13 minutes, which is,
man, I don't think I got to half an hour in the movie.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I can't watch this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. And Scarlett Johansson, she's not a bad looking gal. I mean, granted, you're an island man. You're like black, right? Not to dox. So I don't know
I
if
think she's attractive.
Right.
Not now. She's older now, but
true.
But her acting skill in this one is trash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's this gal who's a really good actor, but she was given like horrible lines in this TV show that I've seen bits of. But yeah, she's fun to watch. And I'm usually not impressed by female actresses, right? They're called actresses. I call them actresses. But she's saying this hokey line like, "Look at me, you're a rapist." I'm like, okay, this is so corny. But even still, like, I really appreciate, she's a better actress than Erika Kirk.
Oh, Lord. I watched that on the weekend, Hake, and I'm telling you, man, it's, it was interesting to see all the emotions that she would cry and then laugh, and then she'll display some type of anger in her actions and the way she talks.
And this is just this week, just yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't watch her speech yesterday, but I did see her speech 2 days after her husband got killed on that Friday. He got killed on the Wednesday. She spoke on Friday evening. And she was just as you described, where she laughs, cries, or acts like she's crying or gets sad, distorted face, which I would understand. And then gets this angry, creepy, angry look.
Yeah, right. Isn't that kind of weird? I'm like, something is so weird about this.
It is weird, but I also saw it as her going through all the emotions, and maybe she just shouldn't be speaking. I don't know. It's better for a woman to be quiet, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely was weird, for sure. Somebody else described it as weird, I heard, and I think weird is a good word for it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. There's just something so off. And I think it's, like, I don't know if I heard you guys said, maybe I'm misquoting, that she was an actor or something like that. But it does show that, I mean, I think she knows what she's doing at the end of the day, because in this weekend speech, she turned it into like a, what do you call it? Like the CEO that is giving a speech for Turning Point, like, we're going to make it better. And then she talked to man, and then she talked to woman, and then she said, man, women are not your server. And then she said Charlie Kirk would leave her a message like, every Saturday, baby, how can I serve you better?
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't that weird?
So he said it every week, not every day?
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday, how can I serve you better? Okay. Because I thought that I remembered her saying every single day he would ask her, how can I serve you better? According to her first
she
speech.
did say that.
But maybe you're right.
Sure.
Maybe it's every Saturday, which would make a little bit more sense because it would get old. You know, it would get old. So anyway, I don't know. Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. I guess I don't. And then everyone is going to church now. It's interesting. Your last caller makes some great points, and I'm like, interested. But I guess we'll see what happens.
That's right. You know, I was never really into Turning Point USA. I had seen them online a bit and was generally aware of Charlie Kirk and some of the beefs with him with his fellow right wingers, if you will.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not that consequential. I get that they have some sway and some influence and have kind of awakened some of the college students, or been a place for college students to be normal conservatives rather than liberals. I'm refraining from calling them dumb, okay? And so that's nice. But I don't really care because it's not my organization. So
yeah,
nice.
I never really sit and listen to Charlie Kirk. I may see clips here and there, and I'm like, okay, and that's about it.
Yep.
And yeah, interesting. And Trump said, "I hate my enemies." I find that so funny. I didn't even know he said that until you guys pointed out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
isn't that
nice.
refreshing?
I'm like, nice. Because in the Bible it says you should hate evil.
You know who else said that he hates? I think I heard him say he hates Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes, yeah. But they take it out of context, I think.
Yeah, and like Nick Fuentes, he doesn't sound hateful when he says he hates them. It's just I don't know. I refrain from judging. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out. It's fun. It's funny. And those are two talented, entertaining, and great men. Nice.
Well, Erika, I'll let you get to some other callers. Thanks for chatting with me, man.
Of course. Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right. Bye. Cheers.
Bye. Okay. I would like to get to the countries in decline. All right. And a lot of you guys don't agree with me about about being all pro-Israel. I'm kind of mostly just hamming it up. It's just lip service. I don't know or really care. But I find this is James Anton Hake posting this weekend in response to Cernovich. Oh, Lord, what in the world? I'm such a boomer. And I'm like, I find it interesting. These countries, I no longer recognize are recognizing Palestine because I see this breaking news over this weekend. The UK, joins Canada and Australia. So the UK, Canada, Australia. What do these is this the Anglosphere? They all speak English, right? I think a form of English. And they're recognizing a Palestinian state when I can barely recognize the UK or Canada or Australia. Not that I've ever been to any of those places other than the UK and Canada. But those are not free countries anymore. And here's Cernovich saying, oh, to Keir Starmer. And Keir Starmer is the prime minister. He's a liberal. Look, he looks so manly, but he's kind of talks out of both sides of his mouth like a politician. He says to revive the hope of peace for the Palestinians and Israelis, a two-state solution. Everybody's talking about a two-state solution. The United Kingdom formally recognizes the state of Palestine when it's in a pretty sorry state. Are you recognizing the state as a sorry state? No, he's recognizing it as a legitimate state. This is 6 minutes long. Let me just hear what he says at the first 10 seconds.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution.
I didn't know he sounded like that. I'm expecting to hear this deep voice, deep Englishman voice. And he's like, two-state solution. Anyway, shout out. I like high-pitched voiced men. As that one guy said, no homo. Anyway, so isn't that silly? Lame-o Keir Starmer. Meanwhile, look at what's happening according to this person on YouTube. Antifa has...
On arrest here in the street.
Whoa. Pardon me. Let me turn that down a little bit. What's going on? Antifa is in Paris. 800,000? Whoa. Too violent. That's what's going on in Paris. This person, Nick Shirley, never heard of him. 750,000 views, subscribers. 1.2 million views from 2 days ago. Antifa in Paris took to the streets to battle against the police as a protest in Paris took a turn for the worse. For the worst. As chaos began. What a mess. And this was from Reddit. I peruse Reddit. What a lame-o, huh? What a liberal. That's take for you. Crypto liberal. Alert, avoid France. Paris has fallen, says somebody. I don't know if this is true, but 800,000 Antifa? Attacking Paris, they claim. All waving Hamas flags, communist flags. Not a single French flag is seeing the police retreating. Be ready as this can happen in America. States somebody. Nice. And I shared that on r/Hake, by the way. Did you know there's an r/Hake? There's one guy who came across it. Reminds me of what's going on in South Africa. You look over here. South Africa can't even function because they're not run by their own functional people. South Africans living in the decline of their own beautiful country in real time. And so they talk about this adventure tourism that's going down. Hold on. Let me crank this up just a touch, just to play this little teaser for you from Carte Blanche.
Mpumalanga's panorama route is crumbling.
We want to acknowledge that our infrastructure has been deteriorating.
From broken signage to rusted railings on the Blyde River Canyon, the risks are mounting.
They were supposed to fix everything that needs to be fixed inside here, but they don't.
Terrible, huh? What a mess, huh?
At 7, only on Mnet.
You guys with your promos. Adventure tourism is in the heart of nature. What happens when opportunity meets investment, but why is the panorama routes iconic sites in a state of neglect? What a mess. And this is what Cerno posted. He's like, the people who didn't build it can't and won't preserve it. A lesson for our own country today. All these lame-o, once great countries are falling apart, and then they're turning around and recognizing Palestine. I mean, you can't even recognize yourself. Here's what this one person states, quoting some article, right? Financial Times of Europe, the truth about immigration. And this guy quotes, this person quotes, "We ethnically replaced the natives down to 35% of the population, and the newcomers are fine with immigration. I am very smart." It says London is an excellent example per Financial Times of Europe. Opposition to immigration was much higher in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s when the capital had far less of it, immigration, than it does today. But now few Londoners expect anything else than to live in a diverse, multiracial city. And so changes in the scale of immigration are much less politically controversial than they were before. What a mess, huh? Because they don't care about the country. What a mess. Reminds me of what Obama said. If I can find Obama. Here's what Obama said. If I can unmute this thing.
My view was that part of the role of the presidency is to constantly remind us of the ties that bind us together. And we live in a big, complicated, raucous, diverse nation.
Gross.
I've said before, I believe, it is what makes us exceptional. There's never been an experiment like this, where you have people from every corner of the globe show up in one place and say, based on these ideals, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. That based on that, and a constitution, and a Bill of Rights, and a democracy, that we can somehow figure out how to get along.
Democracy.
And maintain our private beliefs and pray to God in our own ways and retain aspects of the cultures that we bring from wherever it is that we're coming from, and yet still decide that we are all Americans who can salute that flag and believe in a certain creed and defend this country and try to make it better for each successive generation. And I'm not alone in that belief. As I said, I think George W. Bush believed that. I believe that people who I ran against, I know John McCain believed it. I know Mitt Romney believed it. So this is, what I'm describing is not a Democratic value or a Republican value. It is an American value.
And that's what Trump lived. He didn't just pretend like he believed it. In a moment like this, when tensions are high, posted Barack on X. Obama. Part of the job of the president is to remind us of the ties that bind us together. And I don't see me, but I said, that's what Obama did, dude.
My view was...
That's what Obama did, dude. I mean, Trump did, dude. He's trying to imply that Trump was not a uniter. But Trump was very uniting. And to this day is uniting in hate for his enemies. Right on, our greatest president, Trump. I don't have time to play that gal. She's a mess. I was about to play Jasmine Crockett, but I don't have time. I shall spare you other stuff. Poor Jimmy Kimmel. But hey, Jimmy Kimmel's, his staff is still getting paid. I heard he's a generous guy, okay? Anyway, this has been the Hake Report. Catch American Anchor, baby. Coming up next, all right? I bid you peace in the Middle East. Or at least in your hearts. I don't necessarily... Anyway, whatever. I'll have to read the rest of your super chats later, guys. I don't know why that's so loud. Oh, yeah. Take care. Like I said, American Anchor, baby, is coming up next. Bye.